That's right. It is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Live, Periscope TV, and of course, LinkedIn. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Today, we got lots of stories to cover. One of the top leading stories right now that are being more information is coming in as we get it. Greece and Turkey have been rocked by a deadly 7.0 magnitude earthquake. It's been a strong earthquake. Between the Turkish coast and the Greek island of Samos, collapsing several buildings in Turkey's western Izmir province and leaving at least 4 people dead. Dozens more are injured. Turkey's health minister, Fahrettin Koca, tweeted 4 people were killed in Izmir and 120 were injured. He said 38 ambulances, 2 ambulance helicopters, and 35 medical rescue teams were working in Izmir. On Samos, some damage to buildings and the road network and 4 light injuries were reported. The United States Geological Survey put the quake's magnitude at 7.0. And there you go. So there's that. Unfortunately, the damage is still being assessed as we speak. There are pictures coming in like this one that are quite difficult to see. And yet remind us where we live in the stream of time where earthquakes are happening. And, well, just not our own backyard, right? We're all interconnected on this space of what we call the earth. And obviously, we got to think about those that sometimes are not in our own circle. And if you or you have a family member in that region, I know we have a lot of Facebook listeners, and many of you, some of you actually, I know, are in the area. So thoughts go out to you right here, right now. But we'll be following this as the news comes in. And again, please be careful out there. Obviously, as is with any big earthquake, there's always aftershocks. And we hope that none of the aftershocks are anything near this particular earthquake. Very, very sad state of affairs there in the particular region. All right. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
So, yeah, lots of news. Not all good news, but we do have some good people joining us around the corner. We got to take a break. We're going to regroup. We're going to find out where you can get a free COVID-19 antibody test with or without insurance. That's kind of important. And also, we'll be talking about Buy Black, not during Black Friday, but literally Black-owned businesses. We'll talk about that more right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, for those of you tuning in, if this is your very first time, feel free to comment in social media. We'll bring up your comments around the corner. Hopefully you're having a good day, not waking up to that sort of thing. My goodness. And, it's sad, but, the regions of Turkey and Greece, they've all been in the news as of late because, kind of posturing for war. Some have been at war. There's been other sorts of things happening in that region, but whenever an earthquake happens, it's sad, but a lot of lives are always in harm's way when that happens. But that looking at that earthquake, I'm telling you, Jesse, that type of building is always a worst case scenario in my head, because I always wonder, if I bring it up, I kind of don't want to, but here it is. The way that collapsed, I'm glad the whole thing didn't collapse, but it reminds me of a scene from like San Andreas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that image is that's the stuff of nightmares. It's crazy.
Especially if I were like living on that side of that building, right? Like you have to hold on for dear life when that happens, right? So I'm not sure how long it lasted, but that's just a terrible situation to wake up to. But so there you go. Just remember, sometimes we might complain here, but suddenly something like that happens, which reminds us and begs the question, are you prepared? In the event of a disaster, do you have your earthquake preparedness kits? Are you ready to go in a moment's notice?
20 seconds.
Maybe you need
Need a bug out bag.
A what?
A bug out bag, or just like a preparedness bag. Water, food, flashlight.
Oh, right. Yeah. When you say a bug out bag, I'm like,
bug out.
What is a bug out bag? That sounds
5 seconds.
So I don't like bugs. And bugs are just kidding.
2 seconds.
That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, live stream via LinkedIn, and much, much more. We appreciate each and every one of you. On today's show, we got lots to talk about. A little bit later, we're going to be joined by Trey Bodge, who's a shopping journalist, and how Facebook is launching Buy Black Friday. Yes, not the Black Friday that you're used to after Thanksgiving. We're talking about actual minority-owned Black businesses. How can you support? What can you do about it? And how can you become a part of this movement, which has been happening for quite some time? Also around the corner, we're going to be talking to Guard a Heart Foundation. They're partnering with the community to provide no-cost COVID-19 antibody tests with or without insurance. So some people actually are wanting to get this type of test, and it's good to know. So we'll be talking about that around the corner. Super excited about that. Also, we're following the latest news headline on this. There's been a 7.0 magnitude earthquake around Greece and Turkey. And the images coming in here are nothing short of quite, I don't even know how to describe it. Jesse, how would you describe it?
sort of close to not apocalyptic, but pretty darn close. It's I've never seen a building collapse on just one part of itself. And just imagine like you're just sleeping in your bed and then part of the building collapses and you're just like flying out the window or something. That's
Yeah, I guess it's like a domino effect, right? From the top down. The building didn't fully collapse, if that makes sense. A quarter of the building, it looks or it appears to be, has completely I don't even know how to explain it. Like a Lego set that just no, Legos are more sturdy. But it comes down to building, right? And building codes and how important it is to be able to get into a house that actually has these type of building codes, right? I'm wondering if it had that, but at the end of the day, people are still responding. Again, approximately, according to the latest news, and again, we're just getting this information here and now, Turkey's health minister Fahrettin Koca tweeted 4 people were killed in Izmir and 120 are injured. He said 38 ambulances, 2 ambulance helicopters, and 35 medical rescue teams are working in Izmir on Samos. Some damage to buildings in the road network and 4 light injuries are reported. Again, these are all preliminary due to a 7.0. Now, it had a preliminary magnitude of 6.9 with an epicenter 8 miles northeast of Samos. It's common for preliminary magnitudes, though, to differ in the early hours and days after a quake. Multiple aftershocks struck the region already. Turkish media showed wreckage of a multiple-story building in central Izmir with people climbing it to reach rescuers. Again, you cannot forget the people that oftentimes go out of their way to help rescue people on, in particular, in this case, in a disaster of this magnitude. So our thoughts, our prayers are with them. We know we always get people from around the world tuning in on this particular show. One name comes to mind, Papapado. I think her name is Miss from the Greece region. I never get Greece right, so I apologize for that. But my point is this: I do hope everybody's safe and sound over there, doing the right thing. And a very stark reminder that no matter where you're at in whatever region you're at, if the earthquakes are somewhat a thing, which they are here, Jesse, there are earthquakes here that whenever they rattle kind of goes, is this the one, right? Because we have to deal with the San Andreas fault. And no truth to the rumor, that one's been a bit active as of late. So if you don't believe me, look it up. But all right, let's switch gears entirely. Yes, I'm talking about, are you wanting to get a antibody test of COVID-19? You know it's going to cost you unless you talk to this individual. Yes, I'm talking about Dr. Douglas S. Harrington, who's a fellow of the American Society of Preventive Cardiology and the American Society of Clinical Pathology. He's an expert in laboratory diagnostic testing. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much. Nice to be here.
Yeah, let's jump right into this. I know we got limited time, but obviously there's always questions. Which test does what? So this test is different than the other tests, correct?
Correct. Yeah, most people are familiar with the swab, which is primarily intended for people that actually have symptoms, but it is not very good at determining what the true infection rate is in a given population. And a better test for that purpose and to tell you whether you had something in the past. Because remember, 40 to 60% of people who have this infection don't even know it. They had no symptoms. The antibody test will tell you whether you've had it in the past, but it does one other thing that's really critical, and that is it tells the health authorities, the public health department, what the true level of disease is in a given community so that they can better target education and preventive measures into that community. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the other thing that it does is it gives you a better handle on the actual death rate, because when you're only testing symptomatic people with the swab, which detects the virus directly, but doesn't tell you whether your body has mounted an immune reaction to it, you have a skewed view of the number of people that are dying or getting very severely ill. But when you add in the antibody test, which detects your body's immune response to the virus, then suddenly the death rate starts dropping. We've gotten very good at treating the disease now, and the public health picture is actually looking better, even though we have more people being identified as infected. So that's the value of the antibody test, and it's a serum blood test. In other words, we draw blood, not a swab. Okay, Aaron?
Got it. Okay, so it's a little it's even more precise, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah, it's 100% sensitive, 99.6% specific, the particular test that we're using.
Got it. Okay. And look, and I understand there's a lot of misinformation going around, but let's clarify something, just because I've heard this multiple times. Okay. And I heard this by a 23-year-old, and I had to correct her thinking on this, but correct me if I'm wrong. I had a conversation with a few younger people, and the conversation came up like this: I want to get an antibody test to see if I've had it, so that I can go around, because obviously now I'm immune to it. So can you clarify what that means, even if you've had it? Because some people have gotten it not once, not twice, but multiple times currently. And I know that because my sister got it twice, even though she had it first in February, and she almost died of it, by the way. But the second time she got it around, it actually didn't hit her as hard. But I know of other ones where they got it a second time and it hit them worse. So can you clarify what that means?
Yeah, well, your sister falls into a somewhat rare category because there are actually only a few. It's very rare to document what people are calling reinfection. But number one, the mere fact that you have antibodies in your body means that the amount of virus that you potentially would be shedding is dramatically reduced. And that's been documented in multiple studies. Most of the virus that's infectious comes out of your nasal cavity and, your nasal pharynx, the mouth and the nose. And so we know that if you have any antibody, that's greatly reduced. But that doesn't mean you get to party like Chris Farley, because the way the body works is that, and most viruses are like this, not just COVID-19. If you're infected, sometimes they integrate into your body and your immune system keeps them in check. And then if for some reason you get stressed or your immune function gets compromised, then the virus can resurge, come back.
Right.
Or you could get infected. Now, the other thing that we know, like, remember with flu, every year something changes with flu because it mutates rapidly.
Yes, very much so.
Even though you got a flu vaccine last year, the version of the flu that's coming out this year may not be the same, and your body won't recognize it. Still the flu, but you get a new flu infection.
Well, and they only select like 4 of, I think there's a total of 23 different ones, but the government says, well, these are the 4 most deadliest ones, so let's inject you with that, right?
Yeah, that's typically what they do. It's a little bit of a crapshoot, excuse my English, but the flu vaccine has variable effectiveness, but it's still helpful. And it appears to reduce the severity of the disease if you do get it. And so my point on COVID is that there are at least 2 strains out there, and you may have gotten one. And if you're, in theory, it's possible that you could get reinfected with the second one if your body is not really targeted at that one.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know there were at least at minimum 2. I've heard of different studies around the world, which have been coming up, in kind of fast and furiously from other regions of the world. But here locally, there's not one, but there's 2 different versions of it, is what you're telling me?
No, I'm just mentioning that the ones that have been peer reviewed, in other words, scientifically, they've identified that there is a variation on it. This particular virus, the good news for people listening is that the COVID virus does not appear to mutate like at the rate that flu virus does. So that means that that's why it's rare to find a documented reinfection. It happens, but it's not as common as people might think.
And let's talk about this Guard a Heart website for a lot of information for people that want to get this information. Guardaheart.org is where it's at. And when people go there, what are they going to find?
Well, we are, there's a wealth of information on it. Covers everything from COVID to preventing heart disease, which is still the #1 killer worldwide, even in the face of COVID.
Yeah.
And what you'll find is that we have a number of community events scheduled. So, for instance, from November 10th to November 12th, we'll be in Chino Hills at the shops at Chino Hills doing a blood draw for the antibody test. And then on November 17th to 19th, we'll be at Calvary Baptist Church in Santa Monica. And then December 3rd to December 5th, we'll be at the city of Baldwin Park at the Esther Snyder Community Center. And these are all open to the public. There is a link on the Guard a Heart site where you can sign up ahead of time, because we prefer that you schedule your appointment so that we don't have people congregating there to allow us to maintain social distancing. And we've done a number of these events. We've done thousands of patients. We're trying to make the Guard a Heart is it's an 100% volunteer organization dedicated to learn, detect, prevent, and their mandate is to go into communities that may be underserved and educate them and provide services to help them screen and to reduce the impact of disease. And so this is part of their mandate. And they are 100% volunteer. There's no salaried individuals in the organization. It's been around for over 10 years. And give them a shout out, because they're out there doing this for the love of it.
And I have a couple questions. I know we're running out of time. I don't know if you're on a media tour, but do you at least have another 8 minutes?
Oh yeah, we're fine.
Okay.
You're good. You're good, Aaron.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to keep you because I got more questions that need to be answered. Specifically, this one. How much does it normally cost? So how much are you saving people, right? Because I feel like once they realize how much it actually costs, they go, sign me up, right? So we'll come back with that question right around the corner. Again, for those of you joining us right now, all the way from Guard a Heart organization, we've got the Dr. Douglas S. Harrington. We'll talk about this next here on The Morning Show. Stay tuned. All right, we're on a commercial break. I have multiple questions, actually, and I feel I want to get the right information out as well, because I've had people take the antibody test, tested, and well, I'll wait till that question comes up, just so I can get clarification for everyone. All right, let's see. Maria Yankopoulos. Thanks for tuning in. Says, Jesse, hope you're feeling better today. How are you feeling?
Except for the sore throat, I'm feeling a lot better. Very, very much. I can move and not be like, ugh.
That's nice. At least you're getting better. Good. Katia tuning in from Switzerland. Thank you. Alejandro Patino says, good morning. Let's see. Somewhere it's raining. Where's it raining? Where did I miss that comment?
Where Maria lives. She lives in Canada, eh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Canada.
I want some of that rain.
Here's Maria. I think I'm going to save this comment for a little bit later. Because she's not entirely wrong. You would think they would make it available free of charge just because, hello, it's a pandemic of massive proportion, which oddly enough, and I get his it's not that bad, but the 250,000 dead kind of speak. He and I are going to disagree on that in a minute. I guarantee it.
Oh, let's get it on.
Well, I get what he's saying, but you can't minimize the 250,000 here on the home front when in reality the regular flu kills on average what 38,000. I think I did the math over the last 10 years. So there's that. But I think what he's wanting to say is the mortality rate hasn't gone up as of yet. But have we considered the fact of the flu and cold season? But I got questions that I'm pretty sure he can answer.
20 seconds.
I mean, he's the expert. I'm not. I just assimilate information. That's all I do. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
5 seconds. 2 seconds.
That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. If you're joining us, we appreciate you. We have with us a really great organization. It's called guardaheart.org. They're going to be locally in our neck of the woods. And if you're in other territories, you definitely want an organization like this doing it. Maria over on social media says this: I get tested once a week. I can't imagine paying for it each time. That's crazy. It should be free all over the world, but that is my opinion. Again, she's talking about Canada. So that's a whole different situation over there. Joining us right now, I kept him over the break, is Dr. Douglas S. Harrington, who is a MD fellow of the American Society of Preventive Cardiology and the American Society of Clinical Pathology. He's an expert in laboratory diagnostic testing. Doc, so I got a question. Obviously, how much does that normally run an average person that wants to get it regardless?
So this testing is covered by the CARES Act, so it shouldn't cost them anything. And I know there are groups out there that are charging boatloads of money for these things, sometimes $200 or $300. That's unnecessary.
Yeah.
So when we do these events, everybody needs to know, number one, even if you don't have insurance, there's a program through Optum that covers it. If you do have insurance, we have to collect your insurance information legally, because your insurance company is liable for it and the government reimburses them. But people, this should be no cost to people coming in for these events. And our experience so far in doing thousands of these is, nobody has had to pay out of pocket.
Yeah, and see, I love you for that. I really do, because I had a close personal friend. I mean, he didn't die, but he and his wife got sick. He had gotten, now, when he got it back in, I think it was April, and he didn't want to come forward on it because he didn't want to make his life like a big thing. So I'm just going to tell it how he explained it to me. He got the antibody test because he felt himself getting really, really sick. And so he got the antibody test. What do people need to know if they're feeling sick with it? Because I'm just going to fast forward to what ended up happening. Although it tested negative, antibodies, if you currently have it right here, right now, it may show up negative and you may have the virus right here, right now, but then you go around, and he did for like a week spreading it around, and then he realized he actually had coronavirus. So what do people need to know about the difference if you feel you're having symptoms right now versus this is more for those that may have had it, right?
Yeah, but you're making a really important point, and that is if you are having symptoms, don't get the antibody test because it doesn't become positive for 3 to 7 days after symptoms come on. And you could be negative if you just get the antibody test. You should get the swab test. But I do want to let everybody know here, the reason that they do multiple tests up in Canada is because during the first 3 days after symptoms, the false negative rate can be up to 60%. And so you need to repeat it. The optimum day for testing if you've had symptoms is about day 3 or 4. If you've been exposed to somebody, it's day 8. And the reason for that is that the body sheds virus in kind of cycles, and you can be negative at one point and then become positive. And that's why, one of the strategies, Aaron, is that we're going to use these cheaper, not as sensitive tests, like the one that Abbott makes, and the government bought 150 million of them. It's a little card. You can do it yourself. And if it's negative, you can be screened with something more sensitive. But the the strategy is changing a little bit to do more frequent testing because of this with the swab test. The antibody test will become positive in that time period, 3 to 5 days after you become symptomatic or you've been infected. And the interesting thing is there was concern that it wouldn't last, but there are two things in the favor of patients who get infected in these studies. One came out of Harvard, basically show that the antibodies persist for at least 5 months, but you have memory B cells and T cells in your body that if you're exposed to the virus again, they kick in much later. And the last thing I want to let your audience know is the flu is still out there. And not everybody that comes in, the flu, there is some cross-reactivity between the regular cold virus and flu viruses, that sort of thing. So you have to remember that a lot of people that got tested for COVID did not get tested for flu.
Right.
We're still seeing flu. And sometimes it's hard to tell the two apart. Okay.
Well, you know what? That conversation came up recently, and I did want to know from an expert. So I'm glad you're on the phone right now. How difficult is it to tell the difference between the two? How do you know when it is COVID or when it is the regular flu?
Yeah, so the symptoms are very similar. Now, there are a number of easy tests to tell flu from COVID. They're very similar. You can use either a blood test or you can do a nasal swab, and it's usually a card that you can do it right away within 15 minutes.
Huh.
But the one thing that seems to be very common to COVID patients that makes it a little easier is that losing your sense of smell and taste has been really common in our experience and not real common in the flu virus.
Got it.
It's not unknown, but that one usually suggests that you probably have COVID. You may not get anything more than that,
Okay.
But that's very important. If you lose your sense of smell or taste, then you definitely need to get tested.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I don't want to throw caution to the wind. I want to get it done. And again, no truth to the rumor. 250,000 deaths beg the question, at what point does it get to the point where but like you said, I mean, on average, the regular flu already kills, which is why we had an expert yesterday saying, get your flu vaccine shot. I got one for my mom because that kills on average, 33,000 on average over the last decade. But right. with coronavirus that now we're passing 250,000 just here locally. I don't know at what point it's going to get to the end of the year, but I gotta ask this question. If you suspect you have coronavirus currently, do you get an antibody test? Should they come to you or just wait?
No, if they have anything they think is a symptom, then what they should do is make an appointment to get a swab test. We discourage people with symptoms from coming in for the antibody test. It's really meant for people who don't have symptoms or who had symptoms at least 14 days earlier.
Got it. And then they can figure out if they're better now. Because I know some that are like, I think I had it. I think I got well, but I don't know. So this is good for that.
Yeah. And by the way, just as an aside, there are only 24 confirmed cases of reinfection globally as of October 16th.
Yeah, my sister's special needs, so I don't think they really cared to add her to that list, to be honest. But I'll get back with you on that.
Well, that's an important point, though, because the majority of people who are not doing well with this either have a genetic abnormality or they have a comorbidity like diabetes or obesity or coronary artery disease or an autoimmune disease. And those are the people that we really need to care about, really, really give special care to. You know what I mean?
I do. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, buddy. I got to let you go. We got another guest waiting to go. We appreciate you. Thank you for doing everything you're doing over there. And guardaheart.org. That's where it's at. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. You too. All right. Okay. We're actually just going to jump into our next guest because this next guest, seriously, is doing some pretty cool stuff over there. And Facebook as well. Making it available for each and every one of you. Facebook's launching a Buy Black Friday season of support with smart shopping. We have with us right now journalist Trey Bodge. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Trey. Hello, Trey. All right, let's see. We'll see if we can try to get her back. But hold on. Okay, here we go. Trey, are you there with us?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Trey, obviously lots of shopping coming up around the corner. People are saving their pennies, literally. What is going on around the corner? Because look, you never had to deal with coronavirus, but when you can, switch it up and think about those around you, I'm sure you got the place to shop.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously, we're all saving our pennies. This holiday shopping season is going to be really different. But today I wanted to talk about supporting Black-owned businesses in particular, because 41% have been shut down due to COVID-19 compared to just 14% of white-owned businesses. So it's really important when we're doing our holiday shopping to keep that in mind. We all love to go to our big box stores, but let's support our small businesses as well.
I love that you bring that up because unfortunately, and that's where we're at right now, so many small businesses are going out of business. Let's talk specifically about Black-owned businesses. And what's the difference between a Black-owned business and just an average owned business?
Well, the thing that's happening here is that Black-owned businesses are struggling more because they're more likely to be in restaurants or retail, which have been hit especially hard. And then also when it comes to the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, statistically, 95% of Black-owned businesses had virtually no chance of receiving a loan because they lacked relationships to a bank or didn't have the minimum number of employees to qualify. So because of that, we are seeing this rapid rate of Black businesses going under. And so I'm really excited to talk about this program that Facebook has, which is overall called Season of Support. And they have a couple of exciting initiatives, two that are launching today, which is the Buy Black Friday Gift Guide, which features beautiful products from Black businesses across the U.S. So you can get some inspiration for your shopping. And then also the Buy Black Friday Show, which is launching today and will air every Friday through Black Friday, which is November 27th. It will air at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And it's a great way for you to meet the owners of Black-owned businesses and also see some music and entertainment. So that'll be fun too, and a great way to discover a new business to support.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. Sometimes we try to spread the information far and wide as far as we can on radio and online. But sometimes business owners are so busy just trying to stay alive, they sometimes don't know about these programs. What can you tell those that are business owners who happen to be African American and or Black, but how can they connect?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So for the Black-owned businesses out there, you've discovered already that the foot traffic is down, especially if you're in retail or a restaurant. And so it's really important to have a digital presence. And thankfully, Facebook makes it really easy. You can create a Facebook page. You can set up an online store with Facebook Shop. And Facebook has a resource called Elevate, which offers live workshops and resources that are dedicated to Black and Latinx communities. And there are also discounts and training courses and free access to virtual events. And this can all be found at facebook.com/Lift Black Voices. So this is a great place for consumers to go to see the Buy Black Friday gift guide and the Buy Black Friday show, but also for entrepreneurs to check out these amazing resources that are being made available.
Okay, can you give that website out again? I just typed it out. I didn't get what I think you said. So facebook.com what?
Absolutely. Facebook.com/Lift Black Voices.
Okay, I will check that out around the corner. Okay, so obviously, look, there are a lot of ways to become an entrepreneur, right? Oftentimes, businesses already are struggling, but shopping online has kind of been the latest thing to do, right? So I almost feel like it's almost getting to the point where if you're not online, and back to, like you said, like a Facebook page, if somebody's been kind of struggling and or hurting, how can they easily pivot, in your opinion?
Yeah, so that's a really important question. And I think that a lot of people who have shops or restaurants, they don't know how to create their own digital presence, which is why this Season of Support program from Facebook is so important. There are so many resources on this program, and you can start simply by setting up a Facebook page for your business. And if you have products to sell, you can set up an online store with Facebook Shop. And that will not only give visibility to your business, to your local community, but also to consumers around the country and around the world. So having a digital presence, like you said, is absolutely crucial these days, especially with lockdowns coming and going. We don't know where we're going to be with this pandemic, right? So having that digital presence is so important so consumers can actually find you and you can sell your products on Facebook and Instagram.
I keep telling people, make use of the online platforms now. I mean, I was the one teaching it like a year ago. I said, if you're not online, you're already behind. But right now, it's almost the lifeblood. I've seen so many new apps pop up as of late. Some don't work well because they're just trying to launch them right away. And I feel some feel, oh, the coronavirus is going to go away all of a sudden, you know, whoever gets elected, which I keep saying it's that would be like saying the world all of a sudden faked it just for Trump. I don't feel that. But you mentioned something else, which I know you probably can't speak much on. I would love to have you back on that because I didn't know 95% have not made use of the last program. Right now, I know that they're talking about a newer program, but I kind of want to go back to that at some point down the line. But I understand you have some good gift ideas as well.
Yes. So the Buy Black Friday gift guide is just launching today on Facebook. And this is a great place for consumers to go to discover some amazing products from incredible entrepreneurs. I mean, I know you're based in LA, and there's this, here's an example of what you can find on there. There's a business called Amethyst Soul Home, and it's owned by a woman named Jolene Williams, and it's solely online. She uses Facebook and Instagram to help spread the word about her business. And she's a candle maker, and she had a specific challenge where her mother, who was quite ill, developed a sensitivity to fragrance. And so Jolene created these beautiful fragrances that her mother could even tolerate. And she was recently featured in Elle magazine. She's had great growth through the pandemic. So she is just one of the many entrepreneurs that you can discover in the Buy Black Friday gift guide, which is just launching today on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm typing it in. It's interesting. It looks like a lot of articles and a lot of people kind of, and then you can connect with groups, which is nice because I see Black Business Network Group, Shop Black Business Hub, and Black Queen Businesses and Consumers on the far right. So it's great to know you're not alone if you're a business owner as well. Is there any recommendations you have for that?
Yeah, I mean, joining communities and groups on Facebook is a great way to connect with other business owners. And obviously, through this season of support program with Facebook, they have so many resources for entrepreneurs. And to your point, during this pandemic, we can feel cut off. We can feel alone. So this is a fantastic way for entrepreneurs to connect and support each other as well.
Trey Bodge, everybody, thank you for spending time with us here on the morning show. Hopefully, we can come back and talk about that other subject. That really infuriates me.
I'd love to anytime. All
right. Trey Bodge, everybody, go check it out. You can type it in, facebook.com/liftblackvoices. You'll see an assimilation of other business owners and or websites which talk about business owners in this situation. It looks like I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 8 total stories there. But even the connecting with groups, if you do that, and especially it's so one of the great things I love about Facebook is you can find your community online right there. And I oftentimes join certain communities like that. Sometimes I look at what people post. Sometimes it's a little inundated. But if you're a Black business owner and or any business owner for that matter, so you can learn a lot from any community. But something that she brought up really had no idea about. 95% of Black business owners did not make use of the and I get it because so many people I know have businesses, they applied for it and they got denied, and then other ones got it, and it's weird. So there you go. Okay, we got to take a break here, a much needed break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, we got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Jesse, got a question for you.
I might have an answer.
If you were able to create your own business all of a sudden with little to no capital, what would you create?
Good question. Good question. I don't know. I do not know.
I think right now is a good time for opportunity for, a lot of entrepreneurs I've been talking to as of late are thinking, okay, if we're in this for the next, 4 to 8 years, what type of businesses could regain in the middle of this all, right? And make use of it, right? Like delivery services are going to pop up. They're going to be a dime a dozen pretty soon. They're already a dime a dozen. So maybe like 25 cents on the dollar does it, right? But like for example, I had a delivery from
Let's bring back drive-through or drive-in theaters.
Bring in drive-throughs to drive in.
Drive-in theaters.
I know what you're saying.
We need more.
We do. We need more. I think Sonic should team up with the Walmart in one neck of the woods where there's like a Walmart, and they should just pop up the thing, and then you eat, right? You get your food, and then boom, you watch your movie, right? I think we do. We need a lot more of those, even if they're pop-up ones. I once said to a trusted friend, I says, you know what? We should invest in at least 3. We can do that. Like, and then you have the food trucks come in, right? It's all outside, so nobody can shut that down, right? Not really. You're outside. We're entering the cold winter months, so in certain neck of the woods, that's not even possible. But I feel good about that decision.
We got 30 seconds. Yeah, that'd be a good idea,
Jesse. You and I can invest in a drive-in in. Let me see. What you got to pick an area where it's like little to no cost. Even a dirt road would work. They used to do them at the beach. I don't know why. You still could do that, right?
10 seconds.
Because it's cold. Oh, it's too cold now. That's right. What am I thinking? Fall, winter. Oh, we're going to have to take another break, by the way, just to catch up. So I'm going to
2 seconds.
Do a little news and get prepared for another one. Okay, Jesse? That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMT 1490 AM, joining our live stream audience. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and wherever you find us. Don't forget, Alexa is where it's at too. You could just say her name, and then I don't want to alert all of yours. And then you give it some time. It says, "Hello, how can I help you?" And you're like, KMET 1490 AM. You say that. Well, I think you have to say, "I want to listen to KMET 1490." And then it'll pop up, and you got us on all of your Alexa devices. Okay, we got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
So we've had a lot of conversation, right? Obviously, antibody testing. Do you feel like you want to go get tested now?
They can take my blood. I'm not too keen on them sticking something up my nose. So yeah, take my blood.
You don't mind the needle? See, I'm the opposite. Stick it up my nose, but it doesn't work that way because that's if you currently have it, and I think that's an important thing to get out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
An antibody test, I think, it is a great thing to see if you've been exposed to it. I'm not going to lie. I think I might kind of want to get the test, right? But if you currently are experiencing symptoms, you do not want to get that test. You want to get the other test, as he mentioned. So, because antibodies take some time to show up. Mm-hmm. And as he said, again, a good majority are getting better. And of course, statistically speaking, the question is, which I feel we're going to run out of tests. I'm not going to lie, of the other test, the cotton swab test, because in the next month and a half, I think we're going to get a huge increase. Majority are going to probably test not so much positive because they're just going to be the regular flu virus, right? But people are going to wonder which is it. But I do think he said something very key. If you have sudden loss of taste and or smell, and you got the flu type, it's complicated. So, but I think that one, and or he didn't mention the chest. Okay. If you have a hard time, difficulty breathing, I think those are two key indicators, at least as of now. I'm sure it'll change in the coming months, that you say, whoa, 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 this might be a little bit more serious than just the flu. Got it? And people often say, well, why do I want to go get tested for that if I will just be fine? I say better to be tested and know versus like spreading it to your neighbor. Right, Jesse?
Exactly.
So there you go. Sorry, I think I got you.
I'm battling a fly.
I noticed that. I was like, he's not doing a Stevie Wonder, folks. He's not doing a Stevie Wonder. Okay, we got to take a quick break here on the morning show. What? I love Stevie Wonder. He's a great guy. Very talented musician. All right, people. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. Sorry, Jesse. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus. I went full screen on you. I think at the wrong time you're like,
yeah, you did. I'm battling the.
I know. It looked kind of weird. I was like, oh, folks, he's not.
There's like 4 or 5 flies in here. I do not know how they got in here.
How did they? Flies never get in there.
I know. I don't know how they got in here.
Is there a hole? Are they flies or are they bees? One time I had a swarm of bees. It was weird. They all. And here's the situation. Are they hornets? Are they bees? Or are they flies, Jesse? I want to know.
No, they're flies. A couple days ago, we left the front door open because our lights went out.
Oh.
So we have all our replacements, and we're just waiting to put them in.
Okay. You need a fly swatter, seriously. No, so this happened in Whittier, okay? I was living in the house in Whittier, and all of a sudden, kid you not, there are bees in the house. And like, well, there's one bee, there's another bee. Well, how are these bees getting in the house? All of a sudden, there was like a swarm of bees. I kid you not. It was weird. And we're like, what's going on? And lo and behold, evidently there was at the very top of this like old 2-story building, they were coming out of the wall because evidently there was a bee population in the attic. Okay, so evidently they had their own hive, and they were like just buzz it, you know. And evidently, I guess the neighbor at the top of us sprayed some type of chemical because I guess it came to her place first, and it upset the bees. So they started going zzz everywhere, right? And I'm like, so we had to leave the house. Kid you not, I'm like Googling how do we save the bees, right? Because I know how important bees are, right? So I Google, I get like 3 people, none of them return my call. They're all on Facebook. I finally get one. I'm like, what? And they go, well, we charge like $150. I go, what? Okay, you make the landlord pay for it, right? All of a sudden, we come home to like let some of the bees out. Nope, they're all dead. I'm like, how did they die? The neighbor pretty much smoke bombed the place, killed them all. I felt so terrible, Jesse. We tried to save the bees, and the neighbor did the dumb thing and just killed them all.
30 seconds.
How dumb
wow,
is
that's
that?
Crazy.
Think of yourself, not the bees. Seriously, people. We got a bee shortage going on. We haven't even talked about that. How's the bee population now? Dwindling? Ugh.
20 seconds.
This world. Seriously, people.
I heard there was a murder hornet population up in Washington.
Yeah, taking over from the bees. That's what they're doing. They're like, well, we can move in. Who calls hornet murderers, right? Hornet, like, you don't call lions murderers, but you call a hornet a murderer. What about the killer bees? Are they going to go battle to battle? That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Periscope TV. We appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to download our app. It's free, KMET, 1490 AM. We got a lot of great programmers here on the show, weekdays and or evenings and or weekends. You can't be bored with us on your app. Seriously, there's always something for everybody. Or just do what I do every now and then. Just tune in and go, what's on? Oh, that's cool. Sometimes I discover new shows, which, by the way, every Friday, Jesse, we got some new shows coming up around the corner too as well, right?
Yeah. Let's see. After this, we have 2 doctors who talk about codependency, addictions, and I like the way they talk, and they're really nice. then after that is Julie Talks Money. So she helps you save money.
That's
which is
important.
always a good thing.
I'm always up for that. So there you go. Again, we got lots. Seriously, people, just download the app. It's free, or you can stream it online. Just type it in KMET 1490 AM. I should talk to them about streaming it via Facebook every now and then. I got to get back into the studio and figure out that work. Jesse, did you get a bee population in your lap?
No, I did.
You jump like a schoolgirl. I'm not gonna lie. So
I plucked a fly out of the air.
You did a little. What was that? That was from that movie, Karate Kid.
Yeah, I caught him on his wings. I was like, "What the?" Yeah.
I got no words.
I'm in the zone.
You know, flies only live about 8 days. Did you know that? That's the average length of a fly, Jesse.
I took his life. I feel so bad.
You know what? I'm sure he wants to end this life. He's like, what is this? This guy is terrible.
If you're playing around a giant monster.
Well, there's nothing to eat, right? Unless you had some food in there, maybe you should feed the fly. You're like, is this your 8th day? I'm sorry. I would hate to look. There's certain theories I just don't want to even think about. Imagine coming back as a fly. Remember that movie? Did you ever watch the movie?
Oh yeah,
the first one or the second one or the third one? Because they're a total of 5, I think.
There's the original one, and then you got the one with Jeff Goldblum.
That was the one that freaked me out. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Took me forever to think of myself differently because I kind of wanted to be, because remember the concept of transporting, that was a whole I like that they included that. It was like Star Trek, beam me up, Scotty, but then it was a transport go wrong because of the stinking fly, which begs the question if we're ever going to be able to transport things from one place to another, because I think I need that, right? Or VR. It's called VR right now. Which, by the way, you know what? I want to talk about this. Maybe we need to have Tech Talk with Joel. I'm going to talk to him about which device is good for virtual reality.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right? Because there's so many different systems out there, and I feel people are going to have to lock it down, literally, but you don't have to feel so away from the rest of the world with the new VR that's coming out.
Right?
Let's see. I'm looking up the best VR headsets for 2020. So I'm going to pull that up because I think I want to invest in one. One of our guests, I don't know if you remember her, Elise from Las Vegas, who does interior designing. She actually does a lot of these, and then she goes in on the VR headset and can manipulate time and space in the VR headset, right? But I wonder how much time actually comes out. When you come out of it, you're like, oh, wow. Because she says it takes her a while to acclimate to this world because she's so in it, right? The whole time. So they got these, but I know a lot of these are already sold out, but it looks like these ones might be available. So here they are. The Oculus Quest 2, that improves on nearly everything from the original at a more affordable price, making it the best $300 VR headset for newbies and experienced users alike. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to want to get a newbie device just to try it out, right? I want to go the best way possible, right? But
I think I go full on Matrix.
I don't think we're there yet, but that'd be cool. Sony PlayStation VR, right? That's a little bulky, but if you got the Sony PlayStation, which I don't know about the new one, or how that's gonna. This is the PlayStation 4 we're talking about, $349. I think I would wait, right, to see what the newest PlayStation comes. When does that come out, Jesse?
I think it comes out next month. I already see people with it, media people, like Paul Lane, which I'm gonna, I don't know, visit his home all of a sudden.
He won't let you. I've already tried. I asked. I'm probably gonna say, can you do an outside version? I will go to your backyard. He has a backyard, and be like, can I? I know that bozo of a man. He's like, oh, I love you. You my brother. I didn't get no invite to try it out.
I know. I'm like, Paul, what's up?
I know. Flashing that thing on his Twitter. Go follow him. He's got a show here Wednesdays at 3:00, by the way. He's got the PlayStation. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to throw a little haterade. Then I thought, you know what, Paul? You deserve it. You work hard.
Yeah, he does.
He does. Although, hello, social distancing. It's not like you don't go nowhere outside. Some people are like, I see them going everywhere. I'm like, Okay, whatever. It is what it is. Fine. Paul Lane. You want to be that way? Okay. All right. 2 people could play at that. Seriously. All right, people. I've run out of time here on the morning show. Make it a great day, whatever you do this weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, for the rest of you tuning in, we appreciate you. Let's talk virtual reality, shall we? Because I feel if you've got at least a semblance of how to create a VR world, I got to imagine, at least for the next 3 months, if that was like your thing to want to do, go research it, because it's going to be the next big thing, 100%. Guaranteed. I think we went through the little, like, you had the early adopters, right? And I remember speaking to one of these early adopters way back when. It was at a virtual convention. And he was discussing how Costco was starting to get into events, right? But events are all like pretty much non-existent, right? But then he was talking about the assimilation of events with these new VR headsets, right? And nobody's really talking about it, but I think they should. And I think it's going to be the next big rage. Eventually, right? Because, you want some different entertainment. What better entertainment than kind of to escape the world we're living in, right? Don't escape so much that you forget to live in this world. But my point is, it would be cool, and I think there's a couple of them where you can actually, if you and or your friend actually have one of these devices. I've seen it. I haven't experienced it. I've yet to experience it. But I've seen it said like you could actually experience it together in the same room with them with their digital avatar, right? How cool is that, right? So if anybody has one of these, I kind of want to hear about it. Let's see. I'm going to go into social media comments right here. Here's one. Friday the 13th game in VR awesome on Steam. Okay, so obviously, Maria, you know what I'm talking about, right? You have an idea. So that's pretty cool. And then she says, Plex had an awesome VR theater to spend time with friends and family, like being right there. Wait, what? I have to look this up. It's called Plex, huh? I'm going to learn something right now. I think we all can learn. And let's see. Plex. The Plex. Is that Plex.tv? Is that what it is? And that must be it. Let me type in Plex and VR. And virtual reality Plex. Okay. I'm going to bring this up for all to see. Hold on. Give me a minute. This is our after show program. We're off the air, people. But if you're just joining us, we're gonna talk just a bit for VR, okay? Because I really want to pull some monies together and invest in one of these. I think it'd be cool for my mom, to be honest. She's been so bored. Seriously, I catch her doing things, and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Nothing. Right? She's watching the same program over and over again. I think she watches Designated Survivor. I think this is like her 8th time. She always learns something new, so it's like the first time for the very first time. But I think it'd be a good gift for the whole family, right? Unless you have like a family of 8, right? Then you got like, okay, you're on for the first hour. You're on for the second hour. Did you complete your homework, buddy? Yeah. Okay, good. Then VR headset, right? It's a great way to get a kid to want to do something that they haven't already done. Just saying. Trust me, it's a thing. So let me pull this up, what I'm pulling up, and then you guys can like participate here virtually. Yeah, right. Okay, let me bring it up. Hold on. Virtual reality Plex. This is what she's talking about, people. Okay, and let's see. You guys there? All right, cool. I'm going to bring this full screen as I scroll down. Plex. Interactive environments, watching together, voice chat, and more. Bring your media to life. Why, thank you. I'll get started on this. Sign up, get Plex, add media, start streaming. I just need a headset device. Wait, what? Oh, no, this is awesome. This is what I'm talking about. Wait, what? This is a thing? I was just talking about something like this, but like done with your own setup. Huh. Explore interactive environments. Look at this. Drive-in theater. You don't even have to have a drive-in theater. You have like a somewhat kind of drive-in theater, digital drive-in theater. It's still not the same, especially if you have only one device. That's my problem with these devices. I hope very soon around the corner, these become much more affordable than they currently are. That's my hope. I know there's like ones that you could use your iPhone and your Android. You just have to have the thing that kind of pops on your head, but those aren't always that great. They're just not. But the full headset experience where you can hear like, it's around your ears. I like that. The Void, Loft Apartment. That's kind of cool. Watch together. Is there a video of this? I think I saw one way up high. I like to watch the video. Download Plex. Okay. Well, you need to download Plex server by platform on all your devices. Well, sign me up for that. So let's see. Is there a video? Seriously, I want to see a video. Get Plex free. Okay, let me sign up. Create your free account. Why, thank you. I will. Okay, I'm going to do this later. But for those of you tuning in, there you go. They need video of this. I need, because there's some people that just don't get it, right? Until they get it. Oh, here we go. Here's the Samsung version. There's that. So imagine that's you. That's your friend. Your digital talking heads. But you both are in the same environment watching the same thing. And I think you could talk to each other, kind of like when you have PlayStation and or Xbox, you could talk with them. You hear them talking to their headset. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I need this to be like a room full of 20 people, right? Because then people would want to social distance. People would be like, dude, what are you doing for fun tonight? I'm going on the VR headset. Really? Can I join you? Yeah. Drop down $800. Look, okay. So then here's one. I feel that they need video of this. Why don't they have video of this? Overview. I already saw that. Organize and stream movies and TV. They need to get their act together. I want a video of it. But look at that. So you can watch a bunch of stuff. Okay, that's cool. And then you get to be in the same room. Sign me up for that. Seriously, sign me up for that. And I think there's ticketing things coming up around the corner. I know I've already thrown out a couple ideas, but I can only do so much. So if you got that idea, run with it, man. Because that's going to be, I think it's set to explode. There's a lot of things set to explode that we weren't ready for, but now we have more time for. And there you go. And if you could profit from it, why not? All right. So there's that. But I was looking up headsets. All right. So I'm going to type in this. Top headsets for VR, because they're not all created equal, by the way. Some you get a little dizzy, some you get a little meh, right? I was looking up, I think it was this one. Let me go here. Yeah, I think this is the one. Here it is. Yeah. So see that the Oculus Quest 2 for $299, you can buy it at Amazon. The Sony PlayStation VR, right? But you have to have a PlayStation. But I would wait. I've done this one, by the way. It's addicting with the little wands. But I got the little we tried out at, remember E3? We had a cool setup. Hold on, let me bring myself back. There we go. All right, so long story short, let me bring this up. Oh, but they had a cool device which it felt like a gun, and it had like gun capabilities. You spent like 8 minutes of that, and then you took off your headset. You're like, whoa, that was so amazing. It was the next best thing to the real thing, seriously. And it was this cool fantasy type environment. It was really amazing. I don't know what happened to that company. They need to like come back. And then there's the HTC Vive Cosmos. Let me show you a picture of that. Let me bring that back here for you guys to see. And let's see here. Here it is. Oh, whoops. That's their advertisement. Okay. So you see that there? I think you guys see it, right? Yeah, you see it. So there you go. There's your prices. The HTC Vive Cosmos. See, I would go probably for that one and or let's see. It's a technically impressive environment on the original Vive, but it's very expensive and you still have to deal with the cable. Wow, it's also pretty amazing. I don't know why I got 3 out of, like, this one looks better, but probably because of the cheapness of it, right? I'm going to click on this anyway. Let me click on this. Oh, that just looks cool, right? I hope I'm not just paying for. What are those little, like, eye thingies? I want to know. I have questions. I want one that's compatible with all devices, right? Like, you could hook this up to your PlayStation. Can you do that? I don't know. You can find it at Walmart. Oh, that's cool. Pros. Doesn't require external sensors. Yes, sign me up for that. Improved motion controls. Yep. Sharp display. Large software library with VivaPort and Steam VR. Oh, that's what you were talking about, huh? Cons. Expensive. Yeah. Tell me about it. Clunky cable. Don't give me that. Requires a full-size display. 1.2 port. Don't know what that means, but okay. Let's see. Headset. That looks cool. Probably heavy for the head after a while, though, right? I think when they become lighter, cheaper, everybody's going to have one at one point. Here's some other ones that you can see. The Oculus Rift, the Oculus Quest. We need to, you know what? I feel I need to like have eat. Okay, I have to have each and every one of them. We had a VR person here. That's an ad. We don't need to see that. We had a VR, and he was actually checking out the cool new stuff because he would create content using the VR. He did a movie, and it was only like a 15-minute short film. Dennison was in it. If you watch, I can never remember his first name. We had him on the show too. He's gonna hate me for it. He doesn't watch the show. But anyway, so there you go. There's that. All right, I'm cool. I'm done with that. Any other comments there on social media? Let's see. Let's bring it up full screen here. Let's see. Aaron, Oculus. Okay, hold on. Let's see. She knows her stuff. I missed. Oculus Rift S PC powered VR gaming headset is awesome. Okay, you know what? Good to know. But you have to have a PC powered gamer device, right? Which I think this one is, to be honest. I think I just need it like debugged a little because it got a little crazy on me. And she says, yes, Stream VR rocks. It fits my head fine. You know what? Sign me up for that. Seriously, sign me up for that. I think that's. I still think it's a little ahead of its time, but I think if you're an early adopter, you're already well ahead of it. I think honestly, Mara, you should start thinking about content coming that you would like to see and start thinking about that, because I still think it's a little too infant. Meaning, like, I can't wait for the day where anybody see Ready Player One? I can't wait for that, right? I just don't want the world to get as decrepit as you see in that film. You know what I mean? Because basically the world around them was so terrible. They just like immersed themselves in it, except until like they would compete. And then that was kind of cool. That was amazing. But I feel that's where we want to head. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, especially when it could bring everybody together from around the world, even after coronavirus, right? And or maybe early next year, right? We all could still learn a lot from the technology that we've adopted as of yet, right? Like, make it a thing. She says, awesome movie, right? I know, seriously, that was a great movie. It's amazing. Let's see. All right. And then there's this. I'm going to go back to world news, okay? Because I feel I really tried to get away from it, but I feel it's kind of important to know where we are in the stream of time. So I'm going to go to world news, okay? And the reason I'm bringing this up is it's important to understand where we are in the stream of time. And the first headline that pops up is this one. And I've been talking about this for quite some time. I found an article. I tweeted about it. I didn't want to put it on Facebook, though, because on Facebook, it was the late evening. I know people, I don't want to post this type of stuff right before you go to bed. Then you have bad dreams, right? But here it is. China's military rise poses the greatest foreign policy challenge to the next U.S. president. Well, I already know who the president's going to be, but whatever. And he's been posturing for quite some time against China. So this is something I've already said here on the morning show quite a while back. If you remember, I think the earliest I ever spoke of China and India going to war was about April. And people looked at me going, huh? What are you talking about? Huh? Right? Trust me, I saw them. I go look it up. They look it up. How come I don't know about it? I said, be aware when it comes up, so you're not like, huh? You didn't know where it started. Which there was an article I tweeted out. Let me go pull this one up, because this one, well, I'll read this one. China was one of two countries, along with Russia, named in a 2018 Pentagon report as posing the most significant military challenge to the U.S. 2 years on, and that challenge has only grown. Beijing's program of rapid modernization, seeing its military transformed into a true global power, capable of comfortably projecting its forces throughout the Indo-Pacific region and beyond. This year alone has seen China engage in deadly border clashes with Indian troops. We've reported on that here on the show. China's People's Liberation Army aircraft have repeatedly buzzed Taiwanese and Japanese air defenses, and Chinese ships have been involved in multiple incidents in the disputed wars of the South China Sea. I talked about that 3 weeks ago, so people are like, huh? At the same time, Beijing has been drilling its naval units in the Pacific with increasing frequency, sometimes with as many as 5 separate exercises happening across multiple locations in a matter of days. China's actions, especially those in the South China Sea, present a challenge to what the U.S. military calls a free and open Indo-Pacific, a place where it sees or says commerce should flow without intimidation and where fishing and mineral rights are respected under international laws and treaties. Well, now I understand why they want that piece of land. It's called money. So look, there's news about Taiwan in this article. There's news about South China Sea. There's news about the two key allies. Let's scroll down. Let me see. Money, meh. Keeping the focus. Yeah, okay. Let me read the last part of this. That's usually how I scroll through things, by the way. There's the beginning, then there's the middle, and then there's the end. I usually go to the very top. If you ever want to speed read all the things you need to read, it's not a speed read. It's just isolating the information. The very top 2, maybe 3 paragraphs, then skip to the very end. And then if it interests you further to know more, then you can go through the middle, right? But some of these articles are so long and boring and drawn out. You're like, did you have did you get paid by the words, huh? So I skipped down to the bottom 3 paragraphs. I'll start off with this one. Let me go up here, right here. Despite the 2018 National Defense Strategy and its focus on Asia, inertia, and history, it can still keep the attention of the U.S. defense establishment tilted toward Europe. That's according to analysts. Schuster said this: America's European allies have the financial resources to increase their ability to defend their territory and airspace. What they lack is the commitment because the U.S. has always filled the gap for them because the threat to Europe far exceeded what we faced in the Asia Pacific. The threat balance is no longer true. Either Trump or Biden will be challenged to keep Asia at the forefront of defense planning. True. Ankit Panda, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, said this, quote, "We know from experience that as much as presidents would like to downgrade the status of the Middle East and transatlantic issues in favor of Asia, doing so is far from straightforward. The growing urgency of Asia, however, is here to stay." Again, I don't care who you voted for. I really don't, because at the end of the day, we still have to deal with India and China. Okay, I'll share that piece of information in just a minute. Heath warns that Heath warns that political polarization in the U.S. can provide an opening to those operating against American interests, regardless of who wins the presidency. He says this, quote, "Only about half of Americans are likely to support the president, and many of the other half will be perpetually motivated to oppose the president." I don't disagree with that. I actually think that's coming up around the corner. In fact, just so you know, if you're in Santa Monica and or surrounding, they're expecting for rioting to occur. So if you're in a metropolitan area, you may get told suddenly, we're going to start bordering up everything in the event that there's a border clash of Bidenites versus Trumpanites. I don't care who you vote for. Don't go out and cause harm. You only end up hurting not just yourself, but others in the process. Don't do that. I don't care in the end of the day who really wins. We're still stuck with the same issues. What I care about is that whoever is the final electoral vote, that's where I'm swinging. I'm just going to throw out, it's like kind of like calling the World Series right before it happens. I feel, and I've already had this discussion with a few people, and they actually agree with me. Last time he won, he lost the popular vote, but he won the Electoral College. Smart team, not going to lie. They know how to sway it. You focus on the Electoral College, you'll win every time. So in this case, it's not going to be the popular vote. It's going to be the electoral vote. Watch. Focus on that and do the research. Which is the one to which he's going to win once again? If he wins, I can almost guarantee it's the electoral vote, which begs the question, do we still need that around? Because shouldn't it be the popular vote? Meaning, times are different from late 1700s. If you didn't see that whole thing that I educated our audience on, then you should go back to that. But simply put, that's an old, outdated system, okay? So let's go to the People's Choice Awards, or better yet, the Oscars, right? The Oscars added in, separate from their own founding members and or people that have been, in there for quite some time, that people are like, we need young blood. Open up a second category of this is what you guys are voting for right here, right now. Guaranteed. You can do that really quick. Seriously, it's not that hard. People's Choice Awards, MTV Movie Awards, they've done that for quite some time. Oscars, Move forward. Stop getting stuck and left behind. Seriously, you want to get revamped? Do that, Oscars. Okay. Anybody know anybody at the Oscars? No, not really. Okay, whatever. Let's see. So there's that. Okay, now I'm going to scroll over to the other news that I posted as of most recently. I got to go to my Twitter feed. If you're not following me on Twitter, I do recommend you to find Twitter because there's some really cool stuff on Twitter happening, and you can they've upgraded their system. If you haven't been on for quite some time and you have an account, I would really recommend bring it back up. Okay, and there's several reasons I say that. Number one, follow me, duh. And then number two, follow the first 5 people that come to your head, right, whoever they are, because they tweet pretty regularly because it's fast, it's quick, it's fast. And number 3, you get to search for things that you wouldn't otherwise find via the Twitter app because it's late breaking, up to the minute, right here, right now. Let me give you an example, okay? Sometimes there's things that pop up I don't want to pop up. I mean, get dinged for it. Let me pull it up and then I'll show you, because sometimes there are people that retweet porn sites, and I have certain privacy settings enabled. I don't think that should show up, but even sometimes I'm like, oh shoot, I'm glad there's not a kid in the room. So there's that. Exercise with caution, okay? But let me pull up the article I posted, and this one I know I'm gonna bring you. I should wait because then I'm gonna go surfing, and then something's gonna flash, and I'm gonna get reported. And it's happened during a live stream once. I was so embarrassed. All right, let's see. Here it is. Again, no judgment for those that but I'm just saying, if you retweet it and you're following me, I kind of have to unfollow you. So some people retweet that stuff. They don't even know that their stuff is being blocked by Twitter. So if you post stuff, I've had to tell people, say, I can't see your stuff because it says tweet sensitive. So Twitter's become a lot better about that. But there you go. Okay. I digress. Let me bring up the article. Here it is. U.S. warns of threat posed by China, signs military pact with India. What did I say was going to happen, people? Here's the news story from Reuters. The United States and India signed a pact. Let me share this screen because I feel like people are going to think you're making this stuff up. Seriously. Because I said this back in May or April. What was it? April? May? Combination. I've been speaking about it ever since. People look at me funny. Here we are. I hate to be right. I like to be proven wrong. Let me share my screen here. Boop. And if you're just joining us, again, I'm talking about something I've been talking about for quite some time because I like to watch and read, right? Some of us like it, some of us don't. I used to never like to watch or read. Here it is. Okay. So here's the article. I discovered it all of a sudden. I'm like, wait, what? And I actually found it on Twitter because I type in China, India, China, India, China, India, right? Because some of this stuff gets buried. When I know some of you think about news agencies and how they bury certain information, some of them just don't cover everything until it's quite necessary all of a sudden. So obviously it's necessary for you to now know about it, but this has been happening for quite some time. I've been saying, don't throw caution to the wind when this type of stuff comes up. The United States and India signed a pact to share sensitive satellite and map data on Tuesday as U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo warned of the threat posed by an increasingly assertive China. And just so you know, this was actually published the 26th, okay? So 4 days ago. Pompeo, who arrived in New Delhi on Monday, along with Defense Secretary Mark Esper, said after talks with their Indian counterparts that the two countries had to work together to confront the threat China posed to security and freedom. The annual U.S.-India strategic dialogue comes at a time of heightened tension in the region, with Indian troops confronting Chinese forces on their disputed Himalayan border. Pompeo said this to reporters: big things are happening as our democracies align to better protect the citizens of our two countries. Do you see where we're going with this? I don't care if you thought you should support or won't support. It's going to happen, people. When India goes to war with China, the U.S. is in it. This is why I say, be concerned. Our military, our very own, are already stretched very far and wide. But when this happens, Pompeo said this: our leaders and our citizens see with increasing clarity that the Chinese Communist Party is no friend to democracy, the rule of law, transparency, nor to freedom of navigation, the foundation of a free and open and prosperous Indo-Pacific. The new defense pact, the basic exchange and cooperation agreement on geospatial cooperation, was a significant milestone that would foster cooperation between the militaries of both countries. The United States planned to sell more fighter planes and drones to India. The pact will give India access to a range of topographical, nautical, and aeronautical data that is considered vital for targeting of missiles and armed drones. It will also allow the United States to provide advanced navigational aids and avionics on U.S.-supplied aircraft to India. U.S. President Donald Trump has made being tough on China a key part of his campaign. Since the beginning of the year. What did you think was going to happen? Look, I'm just like the next person. There's stuff I don't say about certain things that go on behind the scenes because it's unpopular until all of a sudden you're there. But I've been saying for quite some time behind the scenes. Who do you think made the pact way back when? Guaranteed, probably it won't come out for another 8 years. Russia, China, North Korea, India, the U.S. government, and Australia. Who's going toe-to-toe with who? Ask that question first. Do the research, and you'll find here's how it lines up. Russia, China, North Korea against U.S., India, Australia, and the rest are going to join eventually. We're entering, I don't want to say it, I really don't. We're entering a very difficult time on this earth, people, if we don't stand up and say at least this much. Hey, let's learn to get all along because every one of those have a nuclear bomb ready to go off. Don't believe me? Do the research. India, conservatively 280, give or take, the ones that they want to admit to. The number's actually lower than what they admit to, but I have certain secret sources that say it's about 280. China currently has 183. They claim they have more. They haven't been investing as much, but that's about to change. They're currently investing on bringing about a whole other device. It's actually quite new and it's quite expensive, but there you go. The U.S. government has approximately, they got a lot stockpiled, by the way, but approximately 4,835 currently ready to go at a moment's notice. The ones that are on layaway, meaning like they're disarmed, they're not disarmed, they're just hidden. From my sources, that's about 483, by the way. Russia, good old Russia, right? Russia has, get this, 3,186. They claim they have more. They don't. They had a moment where they were like, maybe we're not going to go to war. Not true. Okay, here's the real number. You ready? Sources say, and I never reveal my sources, by the way, just so you know. Sources say, well, I don't think I should talk about Russia because Russia's already. How can I put it? Russia. They have sleeper cells here already. They do. Don't believe me? Wait and see. It's a sad state of affairs we're about to enter, people. It is a sad, sad, sad time that we're about to enter. Coronavirus is the tip of the iceberg. You see what I'm saying? Like icing on the berg, the top layer. There's so much more underneath we have yet to explore. But I say this, can it be prevented? I believe it can. I believe not only can it be prevented, we just have to have somebody who goes toe-to-toe with each and every one of these nations and says this, look, I get it. You think you're a big bad man on the earth. Okay. You're the guy that everybody needs to, worship and or keep in power. I get it. And sometimes it's not just one person. Sometimes he's the front man. Sometimes there's a whole little like pact of people. Does that make sense? Don't believe me? Look it up. Secret societies abound on this earth, okay? For a reason. Secret societies, no truth to the rumor, allow for the big dogs to get away with murder, literally. So you have secret governments in all different sizes, shapes, and or places. So you got people that back up people, and all of a sudden you're like, well, how come they didn't go to prison? Oh, yeah, well, they bought off the judge, part of the secret society, right? Don't believe me? Well, look it up. My point is this, people. At the end of the day, and if you're a secret society member, hold on to the end of this before you hear and want to take me out, okay? What I mean to say is this. I don't care if you are part of a secret society. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I've wanted to become part of a secret society. It's just for the fun of it. I don't want the induction process. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's lame. I just want to say, hey, I belong to a secret highest order of the order of orders, right? Meaning, let's do the right thing order. Let's be part of that order. Sign me up for that order. Meaning, the kind of order that puts all these people in the right frame of mind. Get their mind in order, okay? Put their mind back to where it should have been to begin with, right? And here's what I mean by that. The very evilest, heinous ones out there have had their mind kind of jimmy-rigged to think, oh, it's better to serve me versus the rest of the world, right? And or let's serve a small minority population and let's just get rid of the rest. Which I say, no, we need the rest. Meaning everybody. We need everybody to figure it out eventually because you don't know which. Let's put it this way, okay? What if? Just hear me out. What if there's humans coming onto this earth from another realm we don't even understand, right? To help us out on this realm. Does that make sense to anybody? Look, agree or disagree, okay? Some people believe it's called reincarnation. Some people believe it's called we were always alive, but we're just kind of redoing it over and over and over again. Some people believe it's called whatever you believe it's called, right? I believe we all have a purpose, and the purpose is let's keep this alive, meaning the earth, keep it alive for one thing, because once nuclear holocaust begins and ends, it's not going to end pretty. I don't care if you have 1 nuke, 2 nukes, 3 nukes, 8 nukes. Honestly, to take out this world, it's probably a combination of 20 nukes from different places around the world. Then you got to deal with the fallout. Then you got to deal with uncertainty in weather patterns, right? Because now you got the weather, now you got radiation, you got fallout on levels that people don't even understand. Am I trying to spread fear? Not to the average American person, no. Am I trying to spread fear to the average society member who thinks, oh, yeah, this is a great plan. Let's go to war, take some people out. Let's escalate to DEFCON, what is it, 5 or 1? I don't remember. I think it's DEFCON 1. Let's escalate that so that we're all basically end of the planet mentality. You understand where that is the stupidest, dumbest idea? That basically means you're gone as well. So back to your money that you want to profit from, back to the people you want to have control over, back to everything. The whole reason you set it up to kind of fail in the end, because, I mean, where did you think this was going, right? So the secret society members of the world, I implore you, do the right thing by not just yourself, but by the people. What if? Hear me out here, okay? Here's my suggestion to every secret society member out there. I obviously don't know all of you. I just know a few of you. But my point is this. You obviously have the ability to make some calls in very high places, right? You can take me out right here, right now. Boom, right? True. But my message will live on. No, not true. We can control that too. Okay, fine, whatever. Pay attention. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do the math. Here we go. If you are wanting to have the power you currently have, what good is power when people are dead, dying, homeless, and or worse, you may even die a very horrible death. I get it. You guys have underground bunkers ready to go at a moment's notice in the event of complete fallout. But how long do you think it's going to take for this earth to eventually recover? Are you going to live underground for life? Because that's where you're going. You're going underground for life. Because guaranteed, there's not going to be one nuclear bomb that goes off. There's not going to be 2 nuclear bombs that go off. I predict if we head on the way we're heading without everyone wanting to change, it'll be a total of 8 minimum that will go off. Minimum. Does it matter who's the first person? No. Does it matter who's the last person? Not really. Does it matter that we're all trying to live on this earth together? Yes. So what if, just throwing this out there, okay? Just throwing it out there. What if, instead of focusing on power, we focus on getting through it all for the next 50 years, okay? The next 50 years. Just suspend your whole mentality and do this instead. All right? Say this. Have your secret society meetings and say, you know what? We should listen to this guy, okay? Here's how you roll. After the 50 years, I don't care what you do. I really don't. I mean, I do. But let's get to the first 50 years, okay? Here's what I think you should do. I think you should simply invest in the people. Do so financially. You know what I mean by that. Reinvest into the current population that's currently still alive. And well, the rest, you guys know what your plans are. But just do that, okay? What will you get in the end? I venture to believe within the next 8 years, we could be quite profitable as a sovereign nation, okay? Within the next 20 years, I believe we can also go to the next level of education. So much so, we will figure out how to extend our life expectancy. I know you've already had plans to do that. I get it. Secret, nobody wants out. I get it. I'm not going to explode your cover on that. I get it. But you got to get there to begin with. You get where I'm going with this? How, if you're expecting to want to live longer and or, cover up that you've already been living longer, what earth are you going to want to come back to? You don't have the ability to transfer your consciousness just yet into a higher realm, or do you? So you see where I'm going with this? And I know AR, VR, it's all circumventing over into everybody wants to eventually get their consciousness into the cloud. I know where you guys are going with that, but my point is this. If you are okay with wanting all of that to get accomplished, then we need to get past the first 5 years. Just give me 5 years. Okay? Give me 5 years. That's it. That's it. That's all I need. Fix it. Done. All right? Just give me 5 years. Put it into effect. Everything that is needed to get everybody back to square one. Obviously, we don't want to go to the very square one, right? We all know where that was. But, the next square one, right? Move forward, not backward. How do we move forward and not backward? Simple. Okay? Simple. Doesn't take a rocket scientist. It really doesn't. It just takes a thought-provoking man who... So there you go. All right, people. So look, just hear me out. Let's get through the next... I'll even settle for 4 years, okay? Do the first 4. You do the first 4, we're good. Got it? Good, great, wonderful. Okay. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Let's make sure we have, this life that we live. Let's do the right thing, people. I don't judge. I'm just saying. I don't judge. All right, people. Make it a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.